Hello everyone and happy National Scrapbook Day. I hope you're all doing well and you're enjoying your day and you're getting lots of crafting done and all that kind of good stuff. I have just restarted my stream, so hopefully everything's working. All right, so I'm back and hopefully everything is working fine now. YouTube is having a tough day today. It's a tough YouTube day. I sound normal. Well, that's good. I'm glad I sound normal. So I'm just gonna give people a few minutes to get refreshed and come back in before I do anything. So, if you are back and you in the chat are not seeing the most recent thing, oh my gosh, why? Should be a comment from Bev that says you sound normal. If you don't see that, you might be in a different chat. That happens sometimes. Sometimes we have multiple chats. I wonder if I'm in a different chat because I don't see anything. I'm going to restart my chat too, in case you're all chatting away. And I'm in the wrong chat since I had to come back. All right. Yep, I was in a cornfield. So, okay. Cool. All right. So Bev might be in a cornfield also because she's the only one I saw talking. All right, so you are in the right chat if you see like, oops, April, Bev, Joyce, Mr. Lifeguard. He has a little wrench by his name. So that you'll be in the right chat if you see that. All right. If you don't see those people, then you probably need to refresh and go to a different chat. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start the recording now so that we're all good. All right. Happy National Scrapbook Day, everybody. It is May 2nd. It is the first Saturday of May, which is when National Scrapbook Day is. Thank you so much for joining me for a show today. We are going to be learning today. We are going to be doing both we're going to be doing a project, but we're also going to be learning a technique. I'm going to be teaching, and you are probably going to want to take notes today because I'm going to be giving measurements for this project. So you can, if you want to make it exactly the way that I'm going to be making it today, and you don't want to learn the technique for converting and do all the conversion yourself, you might want to write it down. All right, so what we're going to be working on today is what I'm calling the Project X Folio, and it is an adaptation of a page from the Half the Fun tutorial, this one, that has this X shape on it, okay, this X design. And what we're going to be learning today is, what if I have a page, like an interactive page from a book that I really like, I want to make it bigger, and I want to make it into like a folio or a photo wallet or something like that. So I'm going to teach you how to majorly upsize things so that you can then go through and any page style from any album that you have a tutorial for or a guide for, you can increase the size of it and make it a standalone project. We talked a little bit about this when we did the Split Decision album, because Split Decision is 10 by 10 pages, and those pages are so intricate that you don't even have to upsize them or change them really or anything to make them standalone folios. You just have to stick them in a roll of KRAFT-TEX and you're done. But this one is small. It's 5 by 10. So, you know, what would we do? And there's two ways to go about this. And one way is the way that is described in the Half the Fun Album Basics Guide, which is a mathematical way to do it where you are increasing the size of it and you're keeping the proportions the same. And so you're making a literal upscale of it. That way is doesn't require you to make any decisions, but it does require you to do a lot of math. So what I'm going to teach you today is a different path, which is let's keep the vibes and not worry about the dimensions. Okay? Let's keep the vibes. So that's what we're going to do today. So when we think about this page, what's the number one thing that we have to keep the vibes? We have to have that X. Okay? So when we're thinking about the elements that we want, okay, we need that X design, X pocket. And then we have the shape of it, which is, you know, it's in thirds like this with the X in the middle. All right. And then we can do anything we want here and anything we want here, because in the original, you know, that's just a closure that has a photo mat on it, right? So it doesn't matter what's there. So now all we have to decide is how exactly are we going to lay this out, and what dimensions are we going to use. And again, we can use whatever we want. So what I'm proposing is we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. We make it 8.5 by 11. Okay. All right. So this is, let's see, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, this is 8.5 by 11, the size of this square. So on this, up here at the top, we have this pocket that goes all the way down. Let's draw that here. So we have an inch at the top, and we know that this is a pocket we can stick stuff in. All right, then we have the X. And on this, it looks like we have about a 2-inch drop from the top of the X to the bottom of the X. And then here, so this point is both an inch below this, inch below the top, and an inch above the bottom. So we can make the X as extreme as we want. We just have to kind of keep that in mind. So what if we do 3? Okay. So if we do 3, again, you can do anything you want. All right. So there's our X, which means that this is also a pocket here. This is a pocket here. This is a pocket here. Then let's add another pocket here. Why not? And this is this is 4 inches. Well, it's 3.5. Okay. So then this would be the new design. So now that I have it laid out here, I just have to figure out how do I do these measurements? What are the new measurements? Okay. So now this is for cardstock. Okay. Everyone with me so far? Oh, I'm writing on 2 different pages. This is great. All right, cool. At some point, I must have cut this and not noticed. All right, so we need one piece that is 11 inches by 8.5. And this is going to be the base to which we attach everything, all right? And then we need another piece that is 13 inches by 8.5, okay? And this is where we have to start thinking through that. The piece that's 13 inches by 8.5, don't worry, obviously 13 inches is a made up measurement. We'll deal with that later. Probably by making one that's 11 by 8.5 plus 2 that are 2 inches by 8.5. Not 8.5, 7.5. So we'll break it up later. That's this pocket here. So it's 2 inches wider because we have to have flaps that fold around. But it's not 1 inch longer because even though we need a flap for the bottom, we want it to drop down an inch. Yes? So that's why it's the same size. It's the same length. Okay? All right, so that's easy. All right, that's this pocket here. Okay, so the piece I'm talking about, let's call this first piece A right here. That's the base. Now the one I just talked about is this one here. That's B. That's the second one. Okay, so we're gonna come down here. We'll call this next one C. That's this one, this top piece here. Okay, what we know about C is that even though it doesn't look like it's the same size as B, it is. Okay, so C is also 13 by 8.5. And the reason why is because we're going to remove a piece of it. Okay, yeah. And then we have, so that's C. And this is also C over here. It's one piece, goes all the way across. All right, D. All right, so this one here, this is this one D. D is this tall. I'm going to draw a dashed line so you can visualize. The reason why I'm going through all this is because I want you to know that you can apply this to any page in any tutorial you have to make yourself a quick and easy folio. Okay? So that way, if you just need something to hold a few photos or for a quick gift or whatever, you know, this is how you do the conversion. So I'm trying to teach you a theory or a concept or a technique. Okay, rather than, I could have just made this and then just told you the dimensions, but I want to walk through it with you. Okay, because I want you to kind of understand. So we know that this drop here is 1.5 inches. And the reason we know that is because I dropped this over here 3 inches, and we know that this is half of that. So D is 1.5 inches shorter than C. So it's still 13, but instead of being 8.5, it's 7. Okay? It's instead of being 8.5, it's 7. All right? Are you with me so far? And that leaves us one piece, and that's E down here. E. Okay. So E is 3.5 plus 1 inch for the hinge, so it's 4.5, and it's 13 because it's 2 inches wider. Okay. Now, obviously this 13, like I said, that's probably, we're going to transform that into hinges because we're not, you know, otherwise we'd have to make 13-inch cardstock, and that's just You know, who needs that? Who needs that? So we're not going to do that. All right. So I'm now going to write what the actual cut list is for each of these pieces. So I'm going to write it on the piece. So A is easy. It's 1 at 11 inches by 8.5. If you have questions, please ask them. Don't worry about it. B is 1 at 11 by 8.5. And 2 that are 2 by 7.5. Okay, those 2 by 7.5, that's the hinges that go on either side because we're not actually making 13-inch cardstock. And the reason it's 7.5 is the side hinges are an inch shorter because you don't have to put the bottom half on there, or the bottom hinge. Okay, so that it's the side hinges are an inch shorter to accommodate that lack of a bottom hinge. Okay, so C is we start with the 11 by 8.5 that will then cut down, and just like the other one, it has 2 by 7.5. Okay, because like I said, C and B are the same. C and B are the same. D is the one that's shorter. So we need 1 at where's D? 1 that is 11 by 7, and 2 at that are 2 by 6. And then E, we need 1 that's 11 by 4.5, and 2 that are 2 by 3.5 for the hinges. Okay, so that's all the pieces that are going to make this. All right, so what I will do is I will hold this up so that you can take a screenshot or whatever if you don't want to write it all down. Okay? Okay. All right. So this is the main piece. All right. So now we have to figure out this part. So we got the X pocket. We did this, so we can cross it out. Now we have to figure out, this is the KRAFT-TEX, right? Or if you don't use KRAFT-TEX, this is the Tyvek. Okay. So that's this piece. So we're going to have our folio, and it's going to have, this is not to scale, by the way. This piece right here has to hold something that's 8.5 by 11 because we're going to glue this into it. So I'm going to make it 1/2 inch bigger, 1/4 inch bigger all the way around, which means that instead of being 8.5 by 11, it is going to make it, or it's going to be 9. Okay, so our KRAFT-TEX is going to be 9, and it's going to be, I'm going to say 12 by 9. I'm going to give myself an inch on the top and bottom because we need the KRAFT-TEX to roll over. So I'm going to say that's 12 by 9, this middle piece. And then for these two pieces, I want this top one to come down, be an inch short of the bottom. So, wait, this is wrong. Sorry. It's 11.5 by 9.5. Ta-da. Okay. So up here it's 11.5 because obviously the whole thing is going to be the same size, but I want it to be short an inch, so I'm going to make it 11.5 by 8.5. And this one down here, I'm going to make short 2 inches, so 7.5. So to find out how big my whole piece of KRAFT-TEX needs to be, I'm going to add up the 8.5, the 9.5, and the 7.5, which is 8.5 plus 9.5 is 18, and plus 7.5 is 16 and 15, 25.5. Why am I doing this math in my head? That sounds like we're asking for trouble. Let's get out 8.5 plus 9.5. I like how basic math stymied me. 7.5. 25.5. I was right. So the KRAFT-TEX piece is one piece at 11.5 by 25.5. All right. So then we just will have to design, and we'll probably do this later on. What are we going to do on here and here? Okay. On the two flaps, like, are we going to add designs there? What are we going to do? But we'll do that after we've got the main piece in there, so you can see how it came together. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Just type it in the chat right now. I'm going to go get my KRAFT-TEX and show you how I cut a big piece of KRAFT-TEX like that. All right, I'm going to move this for just a second. Like I said, I need a piece that's 11.5 by 25.5. Now, KRAFT-TEX is, I think, 19 inches. So it's not long enough for me to cut it this way. So I'm going to have to cut it. Why isn't E an inch below D? Because D, all right, you can't look at the side here because D has to come to a point here. So you see, it's much farther below D than the sides would have you think. So the question is, why is the measurement for E so much smaller than the measurement for D when it looks like it's an inch shorter? It's because it's not an inch shorter, because D comes all the way up to here, to this dashed line. So this dashed line represents the real size of D if D were a rectangle. So D's an inch shorter than C, but E is not an inch shorter than D. Okay, so when I'm dealing with a big piece of KRAFT-TEX like this, and I know I have to get something that's 25 inches at the end, what I do is I'm going to find okay. So I'm going to get my big ruler. And this ruler is 18.5. You can do this with any size. So now Candy's fighting with me about how I'm wrong. So what you think is that E should be only 1 inch smaller than D. That's what you think? But D is at least 1.5 inches, if not, it's 2.5 inches taller, because this is D. This dashed line is D. All right, that's why. All right, so this ruler is 18.5. You can use this technique with any size ruler. You just have to do your math. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a slit in the side of my KRAFT-TEX at 18.5 inches. E is also a pocket. They're all pockets. Okay. So I have this slit that I've cut in the side of my KRAFT-TEX. I know that this is 18.5 inches. So now I can move this down, and I have to, I'm going to put this, so now I have to figure out what is, if it's 25.5 and this is 18.5, at what measurement do I need to put on it? So do I line it up with 7? Do I line it up with whatever? And I know I have to line it up with 7 and something. I don't want to, I want to have some wiggle room, so I'm going to line it up with 8. I like to give myself some extra space. And the reason I like to give myself some extra space on the ends is because if I mess it up, you know, I can trim it and fix it. All right, so now all I have to do is cut straight up from here. And that gives me a square that's easier to manage than this bolt of KRAFT-TEX. All right, so now we're done with the bolt. We don't have to work with the bolt anymore. So yay. Okay. Now, I have to cut it 2 different ways. I have to get it so that it's actually 25 and a half. And I have to get it so it's an 11, so it's 11 and a half, okay? So I need to get it from here to here, 25 and a half, and from here to here, 11 and a half. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold this into thirds. And I'm gonna fold it like as close into thirds as I can. Because that'll allow me KRAFT-TEX is paper that is treated and loomed to be a product that is more like cloth. So like you can wash it. It's more like a fabric. Okay, so now that I've got it down to this, I can put it in my trimmer and I can trim it down to 11 and a half. Okay. Or I can just use, you know, a ruler and a rotary trimmer. So for example, I can take this edge and I'm going to put this edge at the 9-inch mark because I want to give myself a little, I want to trim both ends. Okay, put that at the 9-inch mark. I've got the edge straight. And then I'm going to cut it at 21 and a half. And that's going to make it the right size. That'll make it okay. All right. So now I know that this edge is straight. Now I can put this edge on the 10 and cut it at 21 and a half. And then it'll be the right size, the size that I need. Okay. And by folding it up, it just makes it okay. All right, now it's the right height, or in this case it'll be width because we're going to put everything in it like this. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is the ends are ragged and that's fine. So I'm going to put the end so that it hangs over the 10. So you see this is the 10 and I've got the raggedy edge hanging over the 10, but I'm not putting it at 9. I'm just putting it so that this crooked edge is hanging over 10. Then I'm going to take my piece and I'm going to drag it across. And what did I say? This top panel is 8.5. So this is at 10. I'm going to take this to 8.5. Gonna put 8.5, I'm gonna now score it so that I know that this is 8.5. All right, so I've got that, you can see here I've got a score line. Now I can do a couple things. One, I can put this score line on the 10, and that will enable me to cut my edge straight. So I'm going to cut at 8.5. And then I'll know that this top is straight and it's 8.5. Okay. Candy, are you totally confused as in you need it walked through again? Or are you explaining the way in which you were confused? Okay, so now I'm going to put that score line at 10. All right. Because I know that I need to go 9.5 down. Okay, no, Candy is no longer confused. Okay. All right, so we're going to come down 9.5 from this. All right, because I said that middle piece is going to be 9.5. So I've got my other score line at 10. So now I'm going to go down to 19.5 and make another score line. Okay, so I know this middle panel is the right size now. So now all I have to do is take this panel here, this last one, put the score line at 10. And my bottom panel needs to be a total of 7.5. So I'm going to put this at 17.5. Because I'm starting at 10. So, and this is where I cut. All right. So now it's all the right size. So now on those score lines, I'm going to fold and score and burnish. Okay, so this is the bottom flap. And then I'm going to score, fold and score on this one. And that's going to make the top flap. And you can see how this bottom flap is 2 inches short of that. So that works. And when I fold this down, it should be 1 inch short of the bottom, which it is. Yes, KRAFT-TEX comes in a number of colors. And a variety of finishes as well. It's spelled with a K, KRAFT-TEX. Okay, so now I've got the general shape. I have a curve here because I have a KRAFT-TEX by the bolt, so that's where it was wrapped around the bolt. So all I'm going to do is just roll it the opposite direction to kind of help get rid of that curve. Okay, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock and I'm going to glue it to my KRAFT-TEX. The reason I'm going to do that is because then I can set my KRAFT-TEX to the side and let it start flattening out. And that gives me a piece of cardstock to stick everything else to. So I only have to glue this one piece. I don't have to glue everything. Everything else I can just use tape because it's getting stuck to a piece of cardstock. So that way we're not going to deal. If you don't have one big intact piece of KRAFT-TEX, yes, you could make KRAFT-TEX hinges instead. Yes, you could do that. All right, so I'm gonna glue this down. And I'm gonna use, you can also use Tyvek. See how I have another hump here from the bolt? Again, I'm just gonna bend it in the opposite direction. Try and get it to lay a little flatter. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stick this down, and I'm going to use a ruler to line it up a 1/2 inch over this score line. This score line that I made is going to fall kind of in between, so I'm going to make a couple other scores. We're probably going to do that where we do a lot of scoring to make it roll. All right, so now I'm going to put glue down. This glue that I'm using is called Perfect Paper Adhesive. It's from a company called US Art Quest. It works very well with a number of materials. It gives you a lot of time to work because it doesn't dry quickly. I have tested Scotch Quick Dry on KRAFT-TEX. It also works fine, so you do not need this glue if you don't have it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down on the KRAFT-TEX, and I'm going to kind of wiggle it around. You can see I've got a lot of glue oozing out the sides. That's fine. That's totally fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm just wiggling it until it's centered as best as I can tell, and it's starting to grab to the KRAFT-TEX. And then once it starts to grab to the KRAFT-TEX, I'm going to get a baby wipe, and I'm going to start pushing the glue to the edge. So I'm going to start in the middle and push the glue to the edge. And that's what I'm doing. I'm pushing the glue from the middle to the edge to ensure that I have good contact all the way. All right, and then you can see how, maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's lifting a little bit on this edge down here. Any edge where it's kind of lifting like that, I'll just hold it for a little bit of time until it kind of stops coming back up again when I move my fingers. And all of this glue oozing, you don't have to worry about with this particular glue. This particular glue dries matte. So it's Perfect Paper Adhesive Matte by US Art Quest. I believe you can get it at like Dick Blick, Artorama, places like that. But yeah, you absolutely can just use hinges. In my my first folios, I just used hinges. I just used cardstock for the pieces, and I used KRAFT-TEX to make hinges in between them so they'd be more sturdy. And if you do that, then you can run your KRAFT-TEX through your embossing folders and give it a design. Okay, so I've got this, you know, working. This is where we're going to attach our main page element. But I am going to put, I should put one on the top and one on the bottom as well. So what are these? 11.5 or 11 by 7.5 on the top and 11 by 6.5 on the bottom. All right, so here I've got 11 by 7.5. That's going to go up here. I'm going to stick it about 1/2 inch down from the top. I'm going to eyeball it, but you can use a ruler. You want to put a generous amount of glue on here, because the way that this glue works is it forms a solid sheet of adhesive between two pieces of paper, and it blends them into one piece of paper. So you want glue, you know, really going all the way around. So again, I'm gonna just wiggle it around. I'm moving it side to side. Not a lot, you know, because you want it to stay in the same general area. And then once I feel it start to grab and it gets hard to move, that's when I'm gonna grab my baby wipe and I'm gonna start pushing the glue to the edges. And we have a digital sale today. It's 50. Ooh, this is crooked. Oh, darn it. Oh, well, whatever. Let it go. Just gonna let it go. Okay. I'll put paper on top of it, so the fact that it's slightly crooked is not going to be obvious in the finished one. Coupon code is NSD2020, National Scrapbook Day 2020. NSD2020, and it will apply only to digital items, so you can put whatever you want in your cart. Your cart can be a mix of digital and physical items, and it will still work. All right, and so then this bottom one will be 6.5 by 11, and we'll stick it down right here. And again, I'm sticking it down about 1/2 inch from the top. And this cardstock is just to give me stuff to glue paper to stick paper to. Sticking paper to KRAFT-TEX is kind of a pain, as you can see, and I don't want to be doing this with hinges, you know, and sitting there and waiting for a hinge to dry. So you can work with KRAFT-TEX a lot more quickly if you put these kind of like primer pieces down. So when we say digital, basically it's anything that would not be shipped to you. So that would be album basics, guides, workshops, tutorials, manuals, videos, all that kind of stuff. Anything where you'd be getting a link to download or to join box. 8.5, then 9.5 over from that, then 7.5 over from that are the score measurements. So 8.5, then 9.5 inches, 8.5, 9.5 over. All right. Are what the scores are. Yeah, see, this edge wants to lift over here. Sometimes that happens. I don't know. I wish I knew why sometimes it's curlier than other times, because then I could adjust what I'm doing. But see, like this one's really curly. Probably just wants to be a punk. All right, when the whole thing is lifting like this, sometimes the easiest thing to do is to flip it over so you can press from the back. With something heavy. So let's see. see. I'm going to use this box. I'm going to put this box on it, and I'm going to just lean on the box. I like to put the smoother side on the outside, but you can stick glue to either side. But I like the smoother side on the outside because it looks more finished. So I'm just gonna press, like I'm just leaning my torso on this box. And I'm gonna pick it up and flip it over and see how it's doing. It's doing okay. Just gonna clean up the glue a little bit. Okay, now that I've done that, what am I going to do with this KRAFT-TEX? I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it somewhere to get squished. So what I'm doing is, and I'm in another part of my room and I'm off camera so you can't see me, but I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing. I'm putting it face down on top of a bookshelf, and then I'm taking all my boxes of 13 by 19 paper and I'm putting them on top of it so it gets squished. And it's just going to sit there while we work on the insert. Oh my gosh, I have so much paper. So much paper. And then because my 13 by 19 boxes aren't quite enough to go all the way across, I'm going to use that same box that I was pressing down on, and I'm going to put a box of dies on top of it for the edge that's not quite covered. So let's see. I think we're in good shape. So I'm going to, so that's the KRAFT-TEX exterior. That's where we're going to start in terms of you have that problem of too much paper. Oh, I can't believe another crafter has a too much paper problem. We're always so good about not collecting too much paper to use. Yeah, if you don't have, Bev says if you don't have all that, then leave it, just lay it on the floor and then lay on top of it. Who else has maybe collected more paper than they probably need? Let's see a show of hands. Barbara Jean's already like, is there really such a thing as too much paper? Well, if we agree that there's no such thing as too much paper, then none of us, yes, we can do the inserts you can do the inserts if you're behind on the KRAFT-TEX, because the inserts, I'm going to do them as totally separate things and then stick them to the KRAFT-TEX. I don't have too much as long as I live to be 150. Well, Mr. Lifeguard says, it seems like that extra paper came in handy just now. So it's not even extra paper. Yeah, no, that's a good point that he's making. What would I have used to press out a 25-inch piece of KRAFT-TEX if I hadn't had all of that paper? Okay. All right. So let's recap where we are. So where we are is with this. I have made this. So this is the KRAFT-TEX piece. The KRAFT-TEX piece is 11.5 by 25.5, and I have divided it into an 8.5-inch section, a 9.5-inch section, and a 7.5-inch section. To the 11.5-inch by 8.5-inch section, I have glued an 11-inch by 7.5-inch piece of cardstock. To the 11.5-inch by 9.5-inch section, I've glued an 11-inch by 8.5-inch piece of cardstock. And to the 11.5-inch by 7.5-inch section, I've glued an 11 by 6.5-inch piece of cardstock. That is now drying under a stack of paper so that it'll be nice and flat. It won't be curly or weird or anything like that. And that is just going to sit there and dry while we work on this main insert, which is the adapted version of the Project X. And we do not need that. We do not need that in order for this to work, because what we can do is we can build it off of B. And then because what we glued into the book is A. Okay, so this is 11 by 8.5. This is basically what we glued into this center section of the book to be our base. So what we'll do is we'll build everything on top of B, and we'll just leave the tape on B's flaps, and then we can stick the whole stack onto A at the end. Okay, so Kimberly asked if I'm not done with the KRAFT-TEX part, like while crafting along with you, can I set it aside and work on the insert? Absolutely. You can do the KRAFT-TEX whenever. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a recording break here. I'm going to announce a bunch of prize winners for the National Scrapbook Day prizes, and then I'll start a new recording with working on the insert so that the insert's on its own recording. So part 1 of this series will be what we just did, which is how to upsize something, how to you know, take something that's a page that you like and turn it into a folio, and creating the KRAFT-TEX exterior. And then the next part will be the insert. So in the next part on the recording, you will see the insert, and I'll put all the prizes into like their own folder in the archives, and then we just won't worry about having the prizes up on YouTube because we don't need that. That's boring. All right, so I will thank you so much for watching this so far. Happy National Scrapbook Day. I hope that this was helpful and that you'll be able to use it in the future to adapt some of your favorite album page styles to make cool little folios or whatever. And in the next video, I'll be back with the insert. So stay tuned for that. Hello everyone, and happy National Scrapbook Day. This is going to be the first round of prizes that we're giving away for National Scrapbook Day. And the way prizes work at Kathryn Scraps is when I call your name, I'm also going to give you a secret word or secret phrase that you have to email to us. My phone thinks I'm in Russia. I'm going to need Mr. Lifeguard to come save me. My phone's in Russian all of a sudden. This is great. What the heck? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to call your name, I'm going to tell you what you won, and I'm going to give you a word or a phrase that you have to email to us at info@KathryneScraps.com. Let me write that down. All right, so this is the email address, info@KathryneScraps.com. Okay, and you need to email your name, your address where you want it shipped if it's a physical thing, the email you use for box if it's a digital thing, and the secret word to info@KathryneScraps.com by 11:55 p.m. Eastern USA time on Friday. So you have until Friday. If you do not email the info we need to us by that time, then you don't get your prize and the prize goes back in the pool. Okay, so we also have for National Scrapbook Day a bunch of prizes that were donated by a member of the Glitter Gang who wished to remain anonymous, but I wanted to let you know that we are giving away a bunch of extra stuff from that. So we have 17 prizes today. And a lot of them are from one of your glitter gang friends. So thank you so much for those donated prizes. We always appreciate being able to give more prizes. So to whomever, that's right. Thank you to whomever. Thank you to anonymous glitter gang member. All right, so I'm gonna give away 8 prizes now, I think, because we're an hour in, and so I'm gonna give away 8, and then when I'm done giving them away, Mr. Lifeguard can figure out why my phone is in Russian. So I've probably been hacked. Oh, he printed it out for me so he can figure out why my phone's in Russian while we're doing the prizes. Okay, so the first prize that we're going to give away is a winner's choice of an album basics guide or instruction manual video tutorial bundle. So that would be anything digital that's not a workshop. So any album basics guide, anything digital that's not a workshop. So so half the fun, which is the one we're working on right now, is one that you could go for, or the current project, which is Catch Tag Remastered. Or if you want to, you can ask us to convert that into a gift card, and then you can use it on the next one that's coming up. Like if you wanted to use it for the box set album remaster when that one comes out, if you already have all the tutorials or all the ones you want from the current offerings, just tell us to turn it into a gift code and we can do that. We can turn it into a gift certificate for you as well. Okay?
It's not in Russian
No,
now.
it is. Look at that. What's it doing? It's counting down to something in Russian.
Oh, that's something that's entirely different.
Oh. Okay, so that is winner's choice of an album basics guide or tutorial, whatever one you want. So what you would email to us would be the one that you want and the email you use for box. And that is going to Emma Lees. Emma Lees. So, and your secret word is paper. Emma Lees, you're getting your choice of any album basics guide, any tutorial, or if you already have the ones that you want, just ask us to turn it into a $15 gift card and we will. Then we're giving away another one of those. So same thing. This one's going to Pat Fredericks. Pat Fredericks. And your secret word is ink. So we gave away 2 winner's choice album basics guide or tutorials. One went to Emma Lees. Emma, your secret word is paper. And the other one went to Pat Fredericks. And Pat, your secret word is ink. Okay. All right. So the next prize is a We Are Memory Keepers frame punch board. Thank you. Mm-hmm. That's the punch that makes the Polaroids. And that is going to Renee Rogers. And I'm going to be real specific here because I have 2 prizes going to Renee's today. This is Rogers. Renee Rogers. You're getting the We Are Memory Keepers frame punch board. And your secret word is Polaroid. Okay. And then the next thing I'm going to give away is we're going to give away a 3/8" Miracle Tape bundle. And that is going to Renee Roberts. Okay. Renee Roberts. They're very, very similar sounding last names. And Renee Roberts, your secret word is undo. Okay. Your secret word is undo. So Renee Rogers is getting the We Are Memory Keepers frame punch board. And her secret word is Polaroid. And Renee Roberts is getting the tape. And your secret word is undo. Okay? So yeah, good day to be Renee. It's a good day to be Renee. So congrats to the Renees. All right. So I'm going to give away 2 more winner's choice of the Album Basics Guide or tutorial. And so the first one of those is going to Rowena Bambalam, and your secret word is cardstock. So Rowena Bambalam, which every time I have typed that today, the song Black Betty has played in my head. So I almost made the secret word Black Betty, but I didn't. So your secret word is cardstock. Your secret word is cardstock. So Rowena, your secret word is cardstock. Just email which Album Basics Guide or tutorial you want to info@kathrynscraps.com with the secret word cardstock. And also for Jean Becknell. Jean Becknell, you also won a winner's choice Album Basics Guide or tutorial. And your secret word is glue. Your secret word is glue. So, and again, if you get a winner's choice Album Basics Guide or tutorial and you already have all the ones you want, we will convert this into a $15 gift card for you and to Kathryn Scraps, and then you can get the next tutorial you're interested in if you want to. So you can turn it, just tell us what you want, either which one you want or if you want a gift card or whatever. All right. And then the next thing I'm giving away, and this was hard to find, I'm giving away an EK Success circle cutter, like that spinny circle cutter I have that cuts any circle that are 1/16 apart that I've been using a lot lately. Those have been discontinued for like 2 years, so I had to get them. I get it on eBay, but I said I would give one away today, and I will. So the EK Success circle cutter is going to Kathy Yamas. Kathy Yamas or Lamas. And your secret word is photomat. So Kathy, your secret word is photomat. So just send the address you want that shipped to and your secret word photomat to info@kathrynscraps.com. Everything goes to info@kathrynscraps.com. And then last but not least, for this round, we're giving away another Miracle Tape bundle, 3/8 inch Miracle Tape bundle. And that is going to Lisa Lish. And Lisa, your secret word is sticky situation. It's a phrase, sticky situation. All right, so I'm just going to run through this really quickly. Winner's choice Album Basics Guide or tutorial or $15 gift card to kathrynscraps.com. 4 of those going to Emma Lee's secret word paper, Pat Frederick's secret word ink, Rowena Bambalam secret word cardstock, and Jean Becknell secret word glue. We have 2 3/8 inch Miracle Tape bundles. Please send your shipping address to info@kathrynscraps.com. Those are going to Renee Roberts with a B. Your secret word is undo. And Lisa Lish, your secret word is sticky situation. And then we have a We Are Memory Keepers frame punch board going to Renee Rogers with a G. Your secret word is Polaroid. And an EK Success circle cutter going to Kathy Yamas. Your secret word is photomat. So make sure that you email us at info@kathrynscraps.com before 11:55 p.m. Eastern USA time on Friday to claim your prize. All right, so I'm going to do a recording break here, and when I come back, we're going to start building this insert. Greetings, Glitter Gang. Happy National Scrapbook Day. We're here for part 2 of the Project X. Part 2 of the Project X folio. And we have finished making the KRAFT-TEX wrapper for it. That's been set aside and it's drying. And we will now start working on this insert, this insert piece, okay? So the first thing I need is, we already stuck cut A to the KRAFT-TEX wrapper. So we're going to be starting with cut B and working our way from the back to the front. So we're going to do B, C, D, E. And B is we need 2 pieces that are 2 by 7.5 and 1 piece that's 11 by 8.5. So I'm gonna start with the piece that's 11 by 8.5. The cardstock that I'm using is Color Mates Smooth and Silky. I'm using the color black. And then I need 2 pieces that are 2 by 7.5. There's one. And there's 2. Okay. All right. So I'm going to score these. And the one that's 11 by 8.5 gets scored on the 8.5 inch side at 7.5. And the 2 that are 2 by 7.5 get scored on the 2 inch side at 1. We're going to do a week on the NSD sale. So you'll have all week. You have all week. Fold along all the score lines and burnish. And then we're going to tape all of our edges. NSD sale is coupon code NSD 2020, which is good for anything digital that you can put in your cart. So any album basics guides or tutorials or workshops or anything like that. The current classroom project right now, well, today I'm doing the Project X Folio. But the regular Thursday classes we're working on the Catch a Tag remastered album, which is, we just finished the cruise version, which I can show you at the end of this segment, if you remind me. And we're going to be starting the school version soon. Okay. And then those classes are Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time and 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. Did I say Tuesdays? Because it's their Thursdays. All right, so now that we've got these all taped, we're going to burnish the tape with our bone folder. You always want to do this because miracle tape, score tape, red line tape, any kind of double-sided tape like that typically falls into a category of tape known as pressure sensitive tape. And what that means is that the more pressure is put on the tape, the stronger the bond between the tape and whatever it's stuck to. So you'll get a much stronger album if you take the time to burnish. I'm gonna burnish. And you can see that this is poking up at the top a little bit. I'll trim that down later. And then I'm just going to take my ruler and line it up with the top and trim off any excess. And the reason I have excess is because, you know, these are separate pieces just because we needed it to be 13 inches across. So since they're separate pieces, sometimes they poke out. All right. And now they're no longer poking out. Okay, so just like any other pocket, we're going to cut at an angle through the corner so that when we fold the two flaps shut, they don't bulk up on top of each other. So we need to cut the corners. This is the one time it's good to cut corners. All right, so I just put it in my paper trimmer and cut straight through the intersection, you know. And then when I fold it over, then they meet instead of overlapping. That's what we want. All right, so this is page B, or cut B, and this is going to be the base of our piece for now. All right, so next we need to make cut C and stick it to it. So let me get this back. All right, so here's cut A. This has already been glued into the KRAFT-TEX wrapper. This is cut B, which is the one we just made, piece B, which is the one we just made. So now we're going to work on C. And C is the first one that we're going to have to take a chunk out of, okay? So to make C, we need one piece that's 11 by 8.5 and two pieces that are 2 by 7.5. So I'm going to start there. All right, and so this is the base, and then we need two that are 2 by 7.5. So and then I'm going to show you how to cut that divot. And actually, so I don't have to worry about these poking up, I'm going to make them 7 3/8. All right. So the drop is 1.5 inches. All right. So what I'm going to do is on the back of this, I'm going to draw a line 1.5 inches down from the top. And I'm going to use a white gel pen. Hopefully it will cooperate. so that you can see it. Okay. All right, so this is the line 1.5 inches down from one of the longer sides. Now we need to also divide this in half, right? And so we know it's 8.5. So we also know that half of 8.5 is 4.25. So I can just draw another line, 4.25 inches in, and this line just has to intersect. It's not 4.25. This is 11. So it's 5.5. That was almost really bad. It's 5.5. Although 5.5 looks off center to me. I guess it's not. It's the new math. Exactly, it's the new math. So now all we have to do is draw a line from this corner to here and from this corner to here. So we're drawing from the corners down to this intersection, all right? Easy enough. You can draw the line or you can cut the line depending on your comfort level. And cut. All right, and now we have the shape. All right, so this is the new shape. So we've removed that divot and we've created the top half of our X. All right, so we've got the top half of our X. And that's all that's different about this one from the one we just did, is that we have to cut that divot. All right, we have to cut that divot. So now it's the same thing. We're gonna put it in our scoreboard. I should have done this before I cut it, but it's fine. Put it in your scoreboard and score it at 7.5. And then score the two side pieces at 1. And then we're going to fold along all the score lines and burnish. Fold along. All right. Same thing as before, we're going to tape everybody. All right. So what, I know that you're probably not going to crops or anything because it's, we're on lockdown, but do you have any other stuff you're doing online for National Scrapbook Day? Other classes? Or big projects you're going to try and finish? I'm hoping we can get this all constructed for sure. So we will, making face masks, that's very nice of you, Jean. All right. And I will be putting these videos up on the YouTube channel. So you have plenty, so you can refer back to them and make this project as well. I'm going to be spacing them out, so because YouTube tends to be happier with me when I space them out than when I put them all up in a clump. So they'll probably be, you know, one up today, one up tomorrow, one up the next day, that sort of thing. But they will all be in the archives as well. If you have access to archives, you can see them either place. Okay. All right, so once you've got all the tape down, go ahead and give it a good burnish. And then peel the tape. And I'm gonna line it up with the edge here. And then I just need to trim where it's peeking up, and it's peeking up because of the angle. All right. All right, next side. And then cut this off to clean it up. Okay, now you have a decision to make, which is whether or not you want this to be a big pocket that goes all the way across, or if you want it to be a divided pocket that goes part of the way across. So I'm going to do it as a divided pocket, just so you can see how you would do it as a divided pocket. However, if you don't want to, then, oh, you're almost done. You need to cut your corners. All right, so after you cut your corners, if you're going to leave it as a large pocket, then you would be finished after you cut your corners. If you got to cut this corner a little bit more, but if you want to divide it, then just keep on following along. So once you've cut the corners, it's either done or ready to divide. And now I'm going to go and cut. And I just need something that's going to go, I don't want it to go any farther than this edge when this edge is folded up. All right. So I'm going to just measure from the edge to the top, which is 5.5 inches, or no, it's not, it's 5 inches. So cut it 5 inches or less. So I'll cut to 1 inch by 5 inch pieces, 1 inch by 5 inch pieces. All right. There's one, and here's the other one. All right, and then I'm just going to score these right down the middle and stick them in the book, and they're going to divide the pocket. Okay, so There we go. All right. Now, just going to put a line of 3/8 inch tape on either side of these, and we'll stick them to the middle. And these will divide the pocket in half. Jean says, I made the original Catch-A-Tag for my cousin a few years ago. And now I'm going to make the remastered for me. There you go. There you go. I am going to, again, if I forget, remind me. I'll show the Catch-A-Tag remastered, which is the current classroom project for Thursday's shows, for in case anyone wants to get it, because we start the second version on Thursday, so you can start from the beginning if you want to. And whenever you buy an album basics guide or a manual, if I'm doing a live class version, meaning if I'm decorating it in the live classes, I will put any live classes related to that project in its folder. And so, you know, you get all the live ones too, even if you're not subscribed to the archives for that project, the specific project that you purchased. All right, so I'm just gonna use a ruler to mark the center and bump this up against the ruler. And I'm having it pop up a little bit so that I know it goes all the way to the top, and then I'm gonna cut it. And get rid of it. All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece, only I don't need the ruler anymore. I can just line it up with the first one and then burnish and trim it off. All right, there we go. Okie dokie. So now this pocket is divided and it's ready to stick down, and we're gonna stick it down to B. So like I said, we're working our way from the back to the front. So now this one just gets stuck down here. Okay. So I'm gonna start by just removing the tape from the bottom so that I'm not trying to deal with like the whole thing being sticky as I'm sticking it down. And I'm lining it up and pushing it into place. And then I'm going to open it up. I'm going to burnish the bottom. And then what I can do is I can just peel all the tape and then fold it flat. And we may be working on this on Thursday because I have a feeling that we might get it totally constructed, but I don't think we're going to get it totally decorated today. So we might be working on this again on Thursday. Instead of starting the new thing, then I'm just going to burnish. All right. And so now I have the B, C, okay, and C is now divided. All right, so that's B and C. So now we're gonna go on to D. Watching and crafting at the same time is dangerous because if I make a mistake, then you also make a mistake. All right, hold up. Okay. All right, so C, so here's what we've done so far. All right, so we've done this A, which is in the wrapper already, B, which is this one right here, and C, which is the top of the X, which is what we just did. So now, now we're going to do D, which is this piece right here. This piece right here. So D is one piece that's 11 by 7 and two pieces that are 2 by 6. All right, so one piece that's 11 by 7 and two pieces that are 2 by 6. All right. Eleven by 7. And 2 by 6. All right, so 11 by 7 gets scored along the 7-inch side at 6 inches. And 2 by 6 gets scored on the 2-inch side at 1. There's 2 of these. And oh, if you want to if you want to cut, if you want to divide this pocket, get yourself 2 1-inch by 5-inch pieces, 1-inch by 5-inch pieces, and score them at 1 at 1/2 inch, down the middle at 1/2 inch. And don't forget to hydrate. Keep drinking your water. Keep drinking your water. Okay. So I'm gonna score these down the middle at 1/2 inch. These are 1 by 5. 1 by 5. All right, no snacks or drink for me. Just gonna keep working. All right. So now fold along all your score lines and burnish. Fat slab. Time to fat slab. No, it's because I ate breakfast really late at like 11:30 noon. So I'm just going to have a late lunch, early dinner after the show. So I'm going to just put tape on all my flips and flaps. And then we'll cut our notch. Well, in this, it's not a notch, it's a peak. So we'll cut our peak. And then Ella typed rock on, and now I have tribute stuck in my head. But to be fair, I had tribute stuck in my head a couple days ago. So because Mr. Lifeguard was listening to a lot of Metallica, and I think he listened to Master of Puppets a couple times, but I didn't hear one. And I was gonna go in his office and joke that he kept listening to Master of Puppets, but he didn't listen to the greatest song in the world. But now I have tribute stuck in my head again. All right, so it's Mr. Lifeguard's fault. Sort of. He started it. I mean, really, it's probably Jack Black's fault. Since, you know... Oh! Out of tape. I think we can blame it on him. We'll just blame it on Jack Black. It's specifically his fault that I have tribute stuck in my head. Because he was talking about how I'm using a combination of 1/2 inch and 3/8. Because he addressed, you know, I guess people ask what song they play in tribute because they play the greatest song in the world, and he said that there's clues in it to what they're playing, but it's One by Metallica. That's what they're playing. Oh, thank you, Barbara Jean. Everybody, Barbara Jean is making SVGs for this insert. And I'll put them in the archives folder for this National Scrapbook Day project. So they'll be there after she sends them to me, which will be whenever she wants to, because this is just something she's doing to be nice for you guys. So don't bug her. An SVG is a scalable vector graphic. It's a kind of file that, like, an electronic cutter like a Silhouette uses. So this would just be so you don't have to cut the notches yourself, stuff like that. All right, so I'm going to draw a line 1.5 inches down again, and this one has to be on the edges only. So you want to make sure you get that line all the way to the edges, but you don't need it in the middle. And then I'm going to draw a line 5.5 inches in from the edge. Annette, there's no tutorial for this. There's no written tutorial, but if you have access to watch the archives, it's going to be in there, and it's also going to be on YouTube. But if you have access to the archives, that's where the SVGs will be. So you can watch. I gave all the measurements at the beginning. Oops. There we go. All right, so on this one it's different because we're cutting from the drop up. In the previous one we cut from the drop, or we cut down to the drop. This time we're cutting from the drop up. All right. All right. Yeah, this time we're making a mountain. Last time we made a valley. Okay. I know, internet's even crazier than usual right now. All right, so we're gonna take our side piece and just line it up so it's not touching the score line. And I just realized these side pieces don't need to be as big as I told you because, of course, because of the drop. So you can cut them like 5 instead of 6, probably. Or just cut them off, whatever. But yeah, this is gonna be on YouTube. I'm gonna be posting these videos. Again, I'm gonna post them one a day because YouTube likes me better when I don't post things in a big clump. So I'm gonna post things one a day, but this whole series will come out on YouTube. So by the end of the week, the whole thing will be out. All right, so we've got the sides done. And now I'm going to put the divider. And when I put down the divider, I make sure it's poking out the top a little bit, just because I want to make sure it goes all the way to the top. So I have it poke out and then I cut it off. And we are having 50% off digital right now. So if you have any tutorials you want to get, or any album basics guides you want to get, or any workshops you want to get, that's all on sale. Workshops, tutorials, and album basics guides. All right. Okay. So now that I have this done, I just need to cut the corners, and we can we can snick it down. We can stick it down. We're gonna snick it down. Okay. Okay, so it's ready to stick down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the tape from the bottom flap and just stick down the bottom flap first. And then burnish. Then I'm going to peel the tape from all the remaining pieces, and then we'll just fold the back down on top of it. And then we just have one more piece to stick down, and this is ready. All right, and then burnish. Okay. All right, so we've got, now the X is there. You can kind of see the X. There it is. You can see we've got our X, so that's why it's called Project X. So there's our X. So we just have one more pocket to go. It goes all the way across the bottom. All right, so let's bring back our diagram. So this is the piece we just did, this piece right here, piece D. So now we just have to do piece E. And that's the only piece we have left. So of this middle insert. All right, so what do I need? I need one piece that's 11 inches by 4.5 inches, and then two pieces that are 2 by 3.5. Okay, all right. All right, so and then the two side pieces are 2 by 3.5. All right. This is just a tribute. All right. So on the 4.5 inch by 11 inch piece, on the 4.5 inch side, score at 3.5 inches. And on the 2 by 3.5 inch, and I actually made them 3 3/8, score on the 2 inch side down the middle at 1 inch. All right, fold along all your score lines and burnish. Fat slab. And then tape. You know the drill. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I always say I need like someone who just hands me pieces that are already taped. Yeah, just make them an inch shorter. The ones that for the previous piece, you can make them an inch shorter. All right. Ugh. So sometimes this happens with miracle tape. Where you get a piece that wants to stick to the other side. Wants to be a little feisty devil. Feisty. And you have to do some surgery. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up. Look, now it's double layered. I just have to keep going until I get rid of this top layer. I think what I'm dealing with is two rolls that got stuck together somehow. All right, I think we've got rid of it and we're back to normal now. All right. sticking to itself. All right, it is now fixed, I believe. Whoa. Exactly, a Sue crafter. That's what I need. All right, so we've got everything taped despite the tape trying to defeat us. All right. Sticking it down to the sides. Burnish, burnish, burnish. All right, now we've got to cut our corners. Last time we cut our corners. Okay. And then this gets stuck down. So same deal as before. I'm just going to peel the tape off the bottom only. All right, open it, burnish, peel the tape from the sides. This pocket I'm leaving open, but if you want to divide it, you can. You know, same, just put two little pieces in the middle like all the other ones. Flatten it. And constructed. Look at that. We are totally constructed now. So, we started with, let's go over our journey. All right? We started with this. We said, hey, this page was pretty cool. What if we made a whole folio that was designed off of this? So we started here. We started with a regular page in a regular album. Then we got to here. We sketched out what do we want. And now look, we have, well, apparently I don't know how to do math, but, oh, right. This goes down here, because we are going to stick it at the top. So now we have the whole thing is done. So now all we have to do is stick it in the book, the KRAFT-TEX, which is off to the side drying right now. So let's go get it and let's go stick it in. All right. Come here. Oh my gosh, you're so heavy. Oh, my tiny, weak little twig arms. Oh, oh God. Gonna die. Ugh. Okay, so now we have our KRAFT-TEX piece, and it's gonna go right here. And all we have to do is peel the tape and stick it down, because this is a piece, we made a little primer space here out of cardstock. Okay, so all we have to do is peel the tape and stick it down. Just like that. And just like that, it's, I mean, it would be done. So super easy to do if that's what we wanted to do. Now I'm not going to do that because we don't want this in here while we're decorating. And we're not going to get to decorating today. Plus my KRAFT-TEX is still wet, so I want to give it more time to dry. But ultimately, this is where it's going to go. And then this is the closure piece. So this piece will fold up, and then this piece will close over the whole thing. and this will be the shape. But I want to put snaps on it to close it, and we need to have the pattern, the paper on it for before we put snaps on. So there's still other stuff we need to do. The only question is if we want to make an additional, like, expand on the pockets or not. Like, put a pocket down here and put a pocket up here. You know, we might do that on Thursday. We might make more pockets to put stuff on the sides, because I put an inch here and here, and this is about half an inch thick, so we could certainly have, well, we can't put anything up here too thick. This would have to be flat up here, but because we still have about a half an inch of spine to work with on this side, we could put something down here. We could put something down here. So there is room down here to do something else. I mean, we could, yeah, so there's room down there. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm actually am thinking that what might be cool would be to make a KRAFT-TEX envelope where you could like open a flap and stuff could be stuck in there, maybe with a accordion, maybe like, so you can put memorabilia or whatever. Now the other option is we can turn it around and so that the flap on the outside is shorter, and leave this space blank, and then on this side do another one of these. You could just, because you could fit a whole nother one over here, you just wouldn't have the extra pocket in the back. So what you would do, what am I saying? What am I trying to say? So this B piece would not be a pocket, right? So you would start with, instead of starting with B, you would start with C, and then you would stick it to this. Because this piece, the liner piece that's on this piece. So you would just make another one of these, only you would start with C instead of B. Is it possible to do a pocket like on a catch a tag pocket behind the X? I mean, you could. You can always do a catch a tag style pocket on anything. You just have to, you know, you have to close it at the top so that so it catches. So you have a catch. So that's all. All right, so yeah, you could make another one of these. What time is it? 4:05. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to put this back under its thing so that it can be continuing to dry flat. So you go back, and then I'm going to do a recording break. I'm going to give away the other half of the prizes, and then we're going to quickly make another one so that all our pieces are ready for Thursday, and then Thursday we'll start decorating. Because decorating is going to happen as part of final construction. I'm not going to do a portrait version. No. So because then we have to do all that math again. So we're just going to make another one exactly like this. All right. So let me get my thing out. So with this, we're going to start with C. So instead of doing C, you could do it as a portrait. You could follow the same steps that I followed in the beginning, and you could totally do a portrait version yourself. But I'm not going to do a portrait version today. I figured out what this is. But that's part of the reason why I did, I showed you how to do it in the beginning so that you can do any adaptation you want. Just want to glue this back in. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a fun idea. All right, here I'm just sticking this. Well, actually, I should probably put it in the corner. I lost a friend of it at some point, clearly. All right. All right, now I'm gonna go and cut all my pieces at once. So I'll be off camera cutting. I'm gonna take this with me so I can read it while I'm over here. Wait, I'm gonna do prizes and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna make another one of these really quickly. So let me do a recording break and then we'll give out prizes and then we'll make another one of these. So I'll be, so that's it for this video. In the next video, I'm gonna show you how to make another one to go on the other side. And then that'll be it for today for construction. And then on Thursday, instead of starting, oh, I said I would show you the Catch-A-Tag, the book that we just finished. So I'll do that. All right, so this is the current classroom project, which is a Catch-A-Tag remastered album. The remastered series that I'm doing is where I'm taking pictures. I'm taking books that I made years ago and I'm letting them inspire me to make different albums that I'm renaming after naming after the originals. So the original Catch-A-Tag album and the Catch-A-Tag remastered are totally different. So they're totally separate tutorials. You do not need one to make the other. Each tutorial is a completely contained book and they're different from each other. It's a total overhaul, I would say. So this is the portrait version of the Catch-A-Tag remastered album. And we are gonna do the landscape version. So the portrait version uses a combination of Paper Phenomenon's Remember the Magic and Simple Stories Cruisin' to make kind of a cruise album for if you've done like a theme park cruise. So it's about 9 by 11 and this is it. So we've got a pocket in the front to hold some die cuts from the collection. And then here is page style A. And the way it works is you open this window and you can see 2 4x6 photos. This will frame 2 4x6 photos. But then you can pull it out and you can either have an enlargement behind it, or you could have 2 more 4x6 photos, or you can do like I've done here and just put a pretty paper that you want to showcase and that you don't want to cover up, however you want to do it. And then this tag is caught. It's trapped in the pocket. So that is what it has in common with the original Catch-A-Tag album, is that the tags don't pull out. The tags are caught and they don't pull all the way out. So that's what the 2 books have in common. So I've also done page style B, which is a waterfall of pockets that will hold 4x6 photos. So you can get a ton of photos in here if you want to do a book like for a vacation is what I had in mind. And then I also did a bonus in the live class where I attached the 2 pages to each other with an accordion pocket. So there's extra room in here for inserts or large memorabilia. So I've done inserts where this one is for 4x4 photos. So for like Instagram, or any kind of square photos. If you can just cut down your 4x6 photos to fit them in here. So this is a photo wallet for 4x4 photos. This is a 6x8 envelope, got a Polaroid on the back, and inside I put a Polaroid insert and I use the We Are Memory Keepers frame punch board to make these. So this will hold 5 4x6 photos inside. And the Simple Stories Cruising collection is, I believe Simple Stories is having a sale today on their digital collection. I think their code is stay at home. There is not something to purchase for what I'm making today. No, because I'm giving the measurements so you can just follow along with the video, and the video is going to stay up on YouTube. So all you have to do is just take screenshots of that tablet or take notes, and you'll have everything you need on YouTube. So you don't need to be subscribed to the archives to have it, although it's going to be in the archives as well. Stay Home 2020, Fran says, is what the Simple Stories digital collection code is. So you can get Cruisin', which is the paper I used, digital from Simple Stories with Stay Home 2020, and I'm sure Paper Phenomenon is having a digital sale for National Scrapbook Day. I don't think there's that she wouldn't. She's usually great about sales. So I'm sure you can also get the Remember the Magic on sale, the digital collection as well today, from Paper Phenomenon as well. So Happiness is a State of Mind. And then we've got this insert, which has the 5 photos on the inside as well. You can put 2 more photos on the back if you wanted to. It's just, and then you can put anything in these pockets you want, because these pockets are big enough to hold maps. They're big enough to have, her code is NSD 2020. Okay, so yeah, so you can get 50% off the Paper Phenomenon paper with NSD 2020 at www.paperphenomenon.com. Stay Home 2020 at simplestories.com for the Cruisin' collection. So you can get both these collections on sale today. And then I have the Album Basics Guide and videos for this on sale today with NSD 2020 at KathryneScraps.com. So this is Catch a Tag Remastered. So if you wanted this one, which again, we're going to do another version of this. We're going to do the landscape version that looks like this. Basically, we're going to do the landscape version on sale. Or we're going to start the landscape version as soon as we're done with whatever we're doing today, Project X. Okay, so that's upcoming. All right, so same deal. This one I put the stamps in the wrong place. And then we've got paper under here. You could write a really long story about these photos. Like maybe if you had photos that needed more explanation, then you could put that there. And then same thing on the back. Again, I've used that accordion pocket again. And then on the back, we've got those envelopes in the waterfall. All right. And then more inserts in this accordion pocket. So again, we've made the 4x4 photos so that you can have your Instagram shots. And we've got, the Polaroids. Again, I love using the frame punch. One of my favorite punch boards. And then we made an insert, and here's some of our Franken paper where we make a new design. Out of scraps. All right. And then page 3, got that cool map back there. and, you know, another waterfall. So you got plenty of room for photos. Tons of photos in this book. And it's only 3 pages, but you still have tons of room for photos. This one is empty because we were getting to the end. We were getting to the end, and I'd already shown you how to make the insert, so I just wanted to show you the decoration. So like I said, this is Catch a Tag Remastered. You can get it for less than $5 today if you don't already have it. And we are going to do another version of this in the live classes. So what I do in the live classes is I decorate one album completely from beginning to end so that you can see the decorating process. Yes, if you purchase the Catch a Tag Remastered Album Basics Guide, you will get the tutorial videos which show how to put the elements together. You'll get the cutting guide, and you'll get the live class videos. So even if you don't have access to the archives, you will see you'll see everything from it. Yes, Priya, I will. It's totally 100% on my to-do list to do that. I just haven't done it. It is totally on my to-do list. I swear. I swear. To do split decision. Split decision is, we'll just do show and tell. Split decision is this one. I'm on the other side of the room, so have to go. Split decision is the one we finished before this. This is split decision. Well, split decision holds 162 total photos and weighs 5.5 pounds. Split decision is, it has a split binding so that you can put both full-size pages in the binding and half-size pages in the binding. That's what the split is. And this, again, like anything else digital, this is on sale as well. So you can pick this up today on the sale. So, but yeah, this is half-size pages. Not gonna like, they fold out, room for enlargements inside. You can also make a book that's just the mini pages, or you can make a book that's just the big pages. You see there's tons of room to put photos and tags and all kinds of stuff. You can make one that's just the big pages. So you could make one after Catch a Tag Remastered is Box Set Album Remastered. So, which will be where we're going to be using the, where we're going to use the infinity binding, because it's going to be longer than 12 inches. So we're going to make a like 7 by 14 inch books. So all kinds of different inserts in this one as well. And again, you get the decorating videos as well that show you making all these inserts and decorating them and all that. Plus this paper is also from Paper Phenomenon. So you can also get this paper. No, I'm not going to do Box Set Remastered as a pre-order right now, because I think it's going to be a few months before it comes out. And I wouldn't want to have that kind of lead time, especially because, like I said, every time I do a pre-order, something happens and I regret it. So I'm not doing any more pre-orders. Sorry. Not doing any more pre-orders. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So yeah. But yeah, we probably are going to start box set, I would say, in July, maybe. Yeah, last time last time you got a random binding that you had no reason for getting. So it's something always goes wrong. Barbara Jean, if I have the measurements early, you can have them early. But but I usually don't have them early, which is why you don't get them early. So it's not that I am ignoring you. It's just that I'm a mess. So that's the problem. So, but yeah, so like today we made it today, you know, today I would have sent it early, but we literally made it on camera today. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we are going to, we are going to do a recording break now. Kathryn is not just a mess, she's a hot mess. So we're going to do a recording break, and then we're going to do prizes. And when we come back, I'm going to show you how to make another X. We can do another X. So to go on the other side. So I'll be right back. I'll be right back to do prizes. And if you're looking in the archives for prize videos, they'll be in the National Scrapbook Day folder in a separate folder for prize videos. I'll have them all together. So I'll be right back with the other panel, the other insert for the folder. Hey everybody, it's still National Scrapbook Day, and we are going to do the last half of the prizes. So I did the first half of the prizes already, and we're going to do the next half of the prizes now. Just going to look for the prizes. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to give away now is I'm going to give away more of those winner's choice of any album basics guide or tutorial. So that's anything that's an album basics guide, anything that's a tutorial. And what we're going to do is we are going to, if there's not something you want right now, like say you want to save that for box set album coming up or whatever, then just let us know that you want it converted to a gift card for KathrynScraps.com, and you can use it on an upcoming tutorial. All right, so what you'll do is you'll email your email address that you use for box. That's where we'll add you to the folder of whatever, and then email the name of the guide or the tutorial that you want and your secret word. Okay, so 3 things: your box email, the guide or tutorial that you want, or if you want a gift card, and your secret word. All right, and I'm going to give away 4 of these. 4 of these, okay? So they're going to go to Alice Lemkert, and your secret word is tape. Alice Lemkert, secret word tape. Gina Coffron, your secret word is ruler. Leanne Hofferth, your secret word is craft knife. Nietra Jaquette, your secret word is circle cutter. All right, so one more time. Alice Lemkert, your secret word is tape. Gina Coffron, your secret word is ruler. Leanne Hofferth, your secret word is craft knife. And Nietra Jaquette, your secret word is circle cutter. So congrats to the 4 of you. Email us at info@KathrynScraps. Your secret word, the tutorial or album basics guide that you want, or if you want a gift card, and the email you use for box that you want us to send the invitation to the folder. Okay, so email us those 3 things by 11:55 p.m. on Friday. Okay, so you have until the 9th, I think is what that is. All right, you have until the 9th or 8th, the 8th or the 9th, whatever Friday is. All right, and then okay, so everyone else, I'm gonna announce you're getting a physical thing. So what you need to email to us is your shipping address and your secret word. All right, your shipping address and your secret word. So we're giving away another We Are Memory Keepers frame punch board. That's going to Martha Yater. Martha Yater, you're getting a frame punch board, and your secret word is journaling spot. We're giving away a Fiskars trimmer, like the kind I use to make the 5x7 pinwheel. This one. That's going to Raquel Ortiz. Raquel Ortiz. And your secret word is measure once. Measure once. May 8th is Friday. Okay, thank you. Measure once. Measure once, cut twice. That's the motto around here. I found another EK Success circle cutter on eBay. That is going to Ellen Gilbert. And Ellen, your secret word is tag pocket. Tag pocket. Like a pocket for a tag. And I'm giving away another one of these Fiskars trimmers, which is going to Jill Robleski. And Jill, your secret word is 5x7 pinwheel. 5x7 pinwheel. So the four of you need to email me at info@kathrynscraps.com with the address where you want your prize shipped. And then we just have one more thing to give away, which is the annual membership to the classroom archives, which we are going to give away to someone who shared our Facebook prize announcement. And that is going to Joyce Mull. Joyce Mull. And Joyce, your secret word is binge watching. Your secret phrase is binge watching. So Joyce, if you have a monthly subscription to the archives already, we will change it so that your subscription is suspended for 12 months. And so you'll keep having access to the archives, but you won't be charged for 12 months. If you have an annual membership already, then we will add a year to the renewal date. So if it was going to renew on, say, June 1st, 2020, we will change it so it renews on June 1st, 2021. And if you don't have a membership, Mr. Lifeguard will help you get one set up. All right, so that's Joyce Mull, and it's binge watching. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the list right here so you can take a screenshot and check for your name on the list. And then, yeah, make sure you email me by 11:55 p.m. on Friday, which is May 8th, with your info. Whatever info I asked you to send me, make sure you send it. And all right, so that's it for prizes. So I'm going to do a recording break, and then we'll be back, and we're going to quickly put together the second insert for this piece. And then on Thursday, we'll start decorating. So we won't be getting to any decorating today, but we're going to get a lot done anyways. I mean, we're going to have a whole lot done. So we'll start decorating on Thursday. And I will even include the decorating videos on YouTube as well, so that the whole National Scrapbook Day project from beginning to end is on YouTube. All right, so I'll be right back. All right, it's still National Scrapbook Day. This is part 3, I believe, of the National Scrapbook Day project. And in part 1, we designed the project together, and I showed you how to turn pages from albums you like into folios. And in part 2, I showed you how to put together the insert. And what we're going to do in this video is we're going to make another insert. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with piece C. So it's going to be just piece C, piece D, and piece E. So just these 3 pieces. And then it's going to go in the KRAFT-TEX wrapper as well. So I'm going to get all these pieces together. So starting with piece C. We need a piece that is 11 by 8.5. we need 2 pieces that are 7.5 by 2. And then if you're going to divide it, you also need 2 pieces that are 1 by 6.5. These are not smaller due to the base being smaller. They're the same size. We just are doing 1 fewer pieces so that accommodates for the shortness. So we have 1 less inch to work with, which is why we started with piece C instead of piece D. So that's how we're accommodating for the size difference. That way we don't have to do math. That way we don't have to do math. All right, so those are the 4 pieces for pocket C. So now I'm going to move on to pocket D. So we've got 1 piece that's 11 by 7. For D, and then we need 2 pieces that are 2 by 6. And they're not 2 by 6, they're 2 by 5 because they're shorter. I remember they're shorter than we think. And we need 2 pieces that are 1 by 5. And that's it for piece B, or piece D. All right. And then piece E is the last piece. We need 1 piece that's 11 by 4.5. Which is right there. And then we need 2 pieces that are 2 by 3.5. And that's it because this piece isn't divided. And that's it. That's all those 3 pieces. So think how quickly it's going to come together when you can just sit down and cut out your whole stack of pieces and go. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a long project. It's taking me a long time because I'm yammering and figuring stuff out and giving away prizes and all that. But when you guys sit down to do it, it's not going to be a problem at all. You know? Okie dokie. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to get out my scoreboard and I'm going to score all these pieces. We're going to whip through them really quickly. So anything that's 2 inches wide, you can just score right down the middle at 1. So yeah, this is going to, like, I just cut all those pieces in less than 10 minutes, you know. So the 4.5 inch by 11 inch piece gets scored at 3.5 inches. All the large pieces, you're just going to score them 1 inch shorter than they are. So if it's 4.5, you'll score it at 3.5. So you don't really have to remember a lot of measurements either. Yes, I think this would be very cute if you used a nice primary base like a blue or a red and used it for school stuff as well. You could even make like one for each grade and put them all in a magazine holder, because I actually think they might fit in a it might fit in a magazine holder. I don't know, 9 inches might be too big, but it would be cool if they did. So the piece that's 4.5 by 11 gets scored at 3.5. The piece that's 7 by 11 gets scored at 6. They get scored 1 less than they are. So that's a quick and easy way to remember it. These two are the 2 inch pieces. They get scored down the middle at 1. And these two are the 1 inch pieces. They get scored down the middle at 1/2 inch. Oh, E. The 4.5 inches piece is E. The 7 inch piece is D. Sorry, I misunderstood the question. But as we just determined, I'm a hot mess. So all right, again, the 2 inch pieces, regardless of how long they are, get scored down the middle at 1 inch. And the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch pieces, regardless of how long they are, get scored down the middle at 1/2 inch. I do live in Florida, it's true. Speaking of living in Florida, on Monday, I'm going to put up the voting for May book club. This piece is 8.5 by 11. It gets scored at 7.5. All right, and that's it. That's all the scoring. So now it's time to fat slab. Time to fold along all the score lines and burnish. The gator did it, exactly. That's what we say down here. Well, they stop you at the border, you know, when you're trying to move in, and if you have everything together, they don't let you. If you seem like totally normal, then they're like, no way. Yeah, the measurements are all the same as the first piece we made, just instead of starting, last time we started with piece B as in Bravo, and this time we started with piece C as in Charlie. So this time we didn't make a piece B. And the reason being is because piece B is already kind of stuck down to the book. Okay. And now that everything is folded and scored, we're gonna tape. So looky there. So I'm gonna put 3/8 inch tape along all the edges, and then I'm gonna put 1/2 inch tape along all the score lines. The only reason I use 2 different size tapes is because I once bought a bunch of 1/2 inch tape, and I don't think it's as useful as 3/8 inch tape, so whenever I have a chance to use it, I use it. But it's just as easy to put 2 lines of 3/8 inch tape, you know what I mean? And then you just buy just 3/8, and you don't have to worry about keeping 2 tape sizes. Everything is the same. You don't make any changes. You just, we're gonna cut everything the same way we cut it in the first one, so that you only have 1 set of measurements and 1 set of cuts to remember. Yeah, I think 3/8 inch tape is the one you should buy, and you don't even need to mess around with 1/2 inch tape. Absolutely. But if you have a ton of 1/2 inch tape because you bought a lot of it, yeah, we're skipping B. So in the first one we skipped A. Well, we didn't skip A. We glued A into the book. In the second one, we're skipping A and we glued B into the book, so we're starting with C. I think when this is complete, it's going to look so cool because first of all, that I agree, Barbara Jean, because that X is just so striking, and I think the X in black with the Remember the Magic paper is going to look really, really cool. And having a KRAFT-TEX folio for your theme park visits is also going to be really fun, just as something to have, especially if you went to a theme park with someone, you could give it as a gift to them. You could make two, one for yourself and one for them pretty easily. Be easy to copy. And remember, with all the National Scrapbook Day sales going around, you can get a lot of these papers. Like I'm going to be using what I have left over from Remember the Magic from the Cruise album I just showed you. For mine. And I'm going to have these in the archives and on YouTube, so you'll be able to see the video with all the measurements and everything and the diagram for how to stick it all together. That'll be on YouTube as well as in the archives. All the videos will be in the archives today. The YouTube videos I'm going to put out one a day for the next 3 days, just because YouTube likes me better when I don't put them all out at one time. I have a lot fewer problems with YouTube if I just put one video a day. So I'm going to space them out. But they will eventually all show up over the course of the next couple days. But you have all the measurements and everything you need to put it together in the beginning. I thought they did too, Shaka. Remember the Magic and Cruisin' went together really nicely. I was happy with that. It's always nice when your digital papers match each other. That's one of the things about digital is you have to just hope because in person in a store, you can hold them up next to each other and test, but in digital you just kind of have to be like, all right, they look pretty close on my monitor. Hope it works. And then if you're wondering, for the next one, we'll be doing a school album using back to school. Is it back to school? School days. I put it on Facebook. Echo Park, and it's available at Snap Click Supply, and they're also having a 50% off National Scrapbook Day, and their code, I don't know what their code is. I think everything might just be 50% off. But I'm sure Fran knows their code. It's back to school. Thank you, Beverly. So when we do the landscape version of Catch a Tag Remastered, it's gonna be back to school with Monica, thank you for joining us. Back to School by Echo Park, which you can get the digital version at Snap Click Supply. And they're having a glitter gang. They're having a sale for National Scrapbook Day, which is 50% off digital stuff, I think. And if you want to get Remember the Magic, Paper Phenomenon's having 50% off digital stuff, I think, as well. So, today might be the day to pick up all these papers if you've been thinking about it. Monica says she has the back to school papers. Maybe Candy can sneak in there and get them. Ooh, Nicole's using pumpkin pie cardstock to match her KRAFT-TEX. Needs to find a fun paper to match. Well, if you really need the back to school paper and you don't have a printer, PM Monica. Ooh, Barbara Jean says it's a way to spend your stimulus check. There you go. All right. Okay, Fran says she thinks Snap Click Supply is just on sale and you don't need a code. That's what I thought, but I didn't know for sure. But yeah, so that's what, but that's Catch a Tag Remastered is what we're going to do after we finish decorating this. So on Thursday, we'll decorate this and we'll do Catch a Tag Remastered. I know, I don't have one either, Donna. Donna says, what stimulus check? And I don't have one. I don't have one either. Oh, well. Oh, well. Okay, Candy says SnapClick is changing the amounts when you go to checkout. Okay, so they're showing the regular prices in the store, but when you go to checkout, they're applying the discount. So, all right, so that's how SnapClick Supply is doing it. And that's where you can get Digital Echo Park, back to school. All right, once you've added all your tape, you need to burnish. Hi, Marilyn. I will definitely tell him you said hello. Nice to see you. Workshops are not included in the giveaway, although what you could do, Leanne, is you could ask us to convert to a gift card and you could use the gift card to get a workshop, you know, and that would at least pay for most of the workshop. So you could do that because then you'd only owe a couple bucks. So ask Mr. Lifeguard to convert you to a gift card and then you can get a workshop if you want to get a workshop. All right, so I'm now on cut C, which is this one right here. So we've got to make the notch. So we've got to make the valley. All right, so to make the valley, we are gonna make Snap Click Supply is, they sell digital paper. They sell digital paper. So if you like using digital paper, oh, you're just trying to decide. All right, and then after 1.5 inches, marking 1.5 inches in, and then 5.5 inches in. Do I have a recommendation? Yeah, I was just trying to think of what I think, like if I was gonna say just buy one thing, there was an album basics guide or a tutorial, I would say you get a lot of bang for your buck with split decision, because you get that split binding and you get 7 different page styles, and 3 of the page styles you get are easy to convert to folios. So you do get a lot of bang for your buck with split decision. You also get a lot of bang for your buck with Twice the Fun, which Donna is suggesting, because Twice the Fun also has like 6 page styles and it holds a ton. Simple Stories is on sale on the Simple Stories website, and their code is Stay Home 2020, I think. Stay Home 2020. So yeah, Twice the Fun is also really good if you have split decision, because split decision and Twice the Fun, those pages work together. You can mix and match them because they're both 10 by 10. So that might be a good one. All right, so you cut from the corner to the cross, to the intersection of the cross. So from the corner to the intersection of the cross. And we have, all right, so once you've done that, then all you have to do is add your insert pieces if you're doing if you're dividing it. Oops, this is too long, so I'm just gonna bump it up. You just don't want these two to touch. So whatever size I said, make it 1.5 inches smaller. Okay, so once that's done, then we're gonna do the sides. And this time we're gonna leave all this tape on because this is the insert that's going in the book. Okay. All right, so then we just do the other side. All right, so now we just have to cut the corners and then this piece is done and ready to stick in our book. So we're gonna cut the corners on our paper trimmer. All right, this one I've got to cut it again. You just don't want them to touch, so. All right, so this one's ready to stick down. Then that one was C, so now we're gonna do D. So with D, we do the same thing. We're going to do 1.5. 1.5 inches, but this time we are going to draw on the edges and not in the middle. And then 5.5 inches in from the side. We're going to draw down again down the middle. And this time, instead, we're going to go from the corner up to the middle instead of from the corner down to the middle. So corner up to the middle. corner up to the middle. Okay. See ya, Candy. All right, so now this one comes to a point. So we're gonna just add our little skinny guys to the middle. And I just want to make sure that this piece gets stuck down and cut it off at the top, and then put the other little skinny piece down. And cut. Okay. All right. Now, so that's divided. All right. Once it's divided, we're gonna do the sides, which I made them too long, but it's whatever. Bye, Marilyn. Have a good afternoon. Gonna press them down. Well, they're not that much longer than they need to be. And then cut them on the angle. The video archives are not on sale, and they never ever go on sale. They're always full price. Because it's so that's the one thing that never goes on sale, but all right. So now that's all stuck down, so we just have to, like we did with the other one, cut the corners. But the video archives, you can always get 2 months free by signing up for the annual membership. So, because the annual membership is cheaper, gives you 2 months free over the monthly. So it's always discounted. All right. So this is ready to stick down. So I'm going to set it to the side. And that was D. And now we're going to do E. But yeah, look how quickly it comes together. So I think you are gonna be able to put this all together really, really quickly. When you're not figuring it out and talking through it, it really does go together quite quickly. All right, and so now we just cut the corners of this one. I'm just gonna fold it in and check it. All right, it's all good. All right, so we're ready to stick these 3 pieces together. Some people are always cutting corners. We like to cut corners here. Oh, yeah. Thank you for subscribing, April. All right, so now we are going to put these 3 pieces together. So I'm going to leave all the tape on the back of, this is C. And this is D. We're going to peel the tape on just the bottom of D. And we're going to line it up and stick it down to D. All right, so, and the reason I do it like that is because that way it's so much easier to handle when you only have one piece that's got sticky. Then I can go through and peel the tape off the other 4 flaps and then just close this piece on top of it and it's all together. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So yeah, Thursday we're gonna be decorating Project X, and Catch a Tag Remastered School will start the following Thursday. Yes, because I want to get this one totally finished for National Scrapbook Day. Okay, so now there's the X. All right, you can see we've got the 2 pockets. So it's the same deal. We're just gonna peel the tape just off the bottom. Again, it's just a lot easier to handle if only one side is sticky, if only one edge is sticky. All right, and then again burnish, and then peel this tape off the sides, and then you can close it and it's assembled. Easy, easy, easy. And that's it. So there's the X. So when we stick this in the book, let me go. Oh no, now I have to hold that heavy paper again. Boo. All right, so here's the 2 of them. Okay, so they're the same, except this one also, this has piece B. All right, so what we're gonna do is all right. Okay, so this first one we made, this right here, it's hard to see because it's black on black, but you can see that we have a piece of cardstock stuck to the KRAFT-TEX. This is piece A, and then this will go on top of it. Okay, and then we'll have that X, and then there'll be an additional pocket here because we have all the we have pocket strips on the back. This piece here, this is piece B, so we're going to put this here. All right, and then that's going to create a pocket there, and it'll be a divided pocket, but, and so then we'll have 2 X's, and then this one we'll just do a layout up here because it needs to stay flat so that the whole thing will shut. But that's it. That's the piece. So I'm going to stick these down now to show you how they go in, and then that'll be it for construction, and we'll decorate it on Thursday. All right, so I'm going to start with the smaller of the 2, and I'm going to do it just the same as I did before, where I'm going to peel just the bottom. And then I'm going to put this so that it's propped against my chest so that I can just work on it like it's a normal piece. And I'm actually going to fold it back away from itself. Oh yeah, we should actually, no, you're right. I did say that we were going to decorate them first. So, because it's going to be hard to decorate them in the book. Yes, yes, yes. All right, we're going to leave them here. I'm just going to put some tape backing back on top. I'm going to leave them out. You're right. I'm going to leave them out. Man, I almost got too excited. Everyone's like, stop, don't do it. Stop. We will decorate first. So I'm not going to put them in the books. I'm not going to put them in the books. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving me. That was a close one. It was almost a disaster. All right. Okay. So I've got the KRAFT-TEX back over there under its press, and I've got my 2 halves, but just so you see, you know, how they fit our diagram. So this is how we started, and in the very first video from this series, I walked through the creation of this, so you could kind of see my process for taking a page and turning it into a folio. And you can see how this one fits here. And so what we'll do on Thursday is I'll be back at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time, okay? And we are going to decorate these inserts and then put them in the book. And that whole process we'll do in real time, live on camera. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So in the description for this video, I have links to the cardstock I used. I have links to the pattern paper I'm gonna use. I have links to my shop where we're having a sale, and our coupon is down there as well. So all kinds of information in this video description. There's a link to our Facebook group you can join if you want to get updates on when classes are happening and things like that. So thank you so much for joining me. I had a lot of fun turning a page into a folio. I hope you all enjoy the rest of the code for the sale is NSD 2020 at KathryneScraps.com. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful National Scrapbook Day. I hope you enjoy crafting and you have lots of fun, and that your family brings you all kinds of treats and leaves you alone so you can craft in peace and quiet. But thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I had a lot of fun. These videos will be up on YouTube as well as in the archives. Congratulations to everyone who won a prize. Thanks again to the anonymous glitter gangster who donated prizes as well. So we were able to offer 17 prizes for National Scrapbook Day, which is awesome. Thank you so much. And you all have a wonderful evening and a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye now.